The story kicks off with a car crash where someone yells to call for an ambulance. Suddenly, our boy jolts awake, as if he just snapped out of a nightmare. Then, an announcer's voice comes over the intercom, declaring the train's arrival at the terminal station. Our protagonist glances at his hand and wonders if maybe, just maybe, he kicked the bucket. Just then, a hand touches his shoulder, and a woman's voice calls out to him. The girl asks if he could give her a hand with her luggage. When he turns around, he's stunned to see the woman and instantly recognizes her. Our hero wonders how she got so young and notices her clothes are from her freshman year. He just keeps staring at the girl up close and personal. Catching his reflection in the train window, he realizes it's not just her who's younger. Our protagonist sees his 19-year-old self and is completely blown away. He then starts to sarcastically question if, by some miracle, he's been reborn. Finally, his fragmented memories start to piece themselves back together. A memory flashes in his mind of a girl asking him to take her home. In his memory, the woman said she wasn't afraid, even if he tried to pull something on her. All of a sudden, a woman with black hair appears, yelling his name furiously. He quickly spots the enraged girl storming toward them. The woman grabs him by the collar of his shirt and asks if this is the type of girl he's into now. Our boy slaps her hand away to push her off. The other woman says her ex now likes them a bit younger and rubs up against him while calling the other one auntie. The black-haired woman gets livid and demands to know who she's calling an auntie. She lunges at the other girl. The young woman tries to defend herself, but ends up with her top pulled down in the scuffle. The younger one shoves the protagonist's ex-wife. She loses her balance and tumbles into the street, right into the path of the infamous truck, Kun. Our hero screams for her to watch out. He manages to grab her hand, but it's already too late. With no other choice, he pulls his ex-wife into an embrace, thinking he owed her his life, and just like that, they met their end. Back in reality, a pouting Jung Yanyan asks if he's done staring at her yet. Our boy snaps out of it and apologizes, saying he was just lost in thought. The announcer repeats that the train is now arriving at the station. But Jung Yanyan gets startled and loses her footing, and she ends up falling right on top of our boy, with her huge balloons on full display. Our hero is a little flustered by the unexpected situation. The huge balloons make a lovely, soft sound as they bounce. She quickly scrambles to her feet, completely embarrassed. After that awkward moment, our boy plays it cool and says he'll help her with her luggage. They walk side by side, with her looking super embarrassed. Jung Yanyan warns him not to tell a soul about what happened, or he's toast. Our protagonist thinks to himself that she's still as reckless and energetic as he remembers. And with that, he arrives at Jinling University. He remembers that at 18 he had big ambitions, but fate had other plans for him. But now that he's been reborn, he vows to become great and powerful to forge his glory once again. Just then, a girl approaches him and asks if he's here to register. He looks at the girl and recognizes her as Chen Wan. Our protagonist remembers the upperclassman Chen Wan and how beautiful she was. Elsewhere, the protagonist's wife also wakes up with a start. She looks around and wonders if this is her old bedroom. She notices that something feels off. She then rushes to the mirror and is shocked by her own reflection. The girl realizes she's been reborn and is completely stunned. With a smile, the upperclassman introduces herself as Chen Wan and offers to help Zhou Yuan. Our protagonist's attention is drawn to a specific mole on Chen Wan. He then remembers that this was the very mole that made him fall for her scam in his past life. Our boy takes the flyer from her hand while calling her upperclassman. Zhou Yuan mentions that this kind of sales pitch is a bit outdated, which leaves her surprised. Chen Wan is shocked by the freshman's audacity and asks what he just said. Our protagonist offers to promote the flyers for her, and she can keep the commission. The girl is taken aback and asks if he's serious, thinking she could use this kid to push the product to the other freshmen. So, she hands the flyers over to our protagonist and tells him to do his best. Chen Wan says she'll check on his results later and waves goodbye. Our hero thinks that in his past life, she was super nice and even walked him all the way to his dorm. Soon, he arrives at his dorm building and hears someone complaining about the school. With that, our boy slowly opens the door to his room. And inside, he sees a guy with red hair complaining about life. The guy quickly walks over to the protagonist. He introduces himself as Chang Hao and says he was waiting for Zhou Yuan to show up so the dorm would be complete. They introduce themselves. Chang Hao is surprised to learn they're both from the same city. His new roommate says he made plans to play cards with some girls and shows him a picture of Zheng Yanyan. Chang Hao invites Zhou Yuan to come along, but our hero turns him down. Then, another roommate chimes in and says he'll go with him to meet this Zheng Yanyan. The guy tells our boy not to get jealous when he's hanging out with the girls. Hearing this, our protagonist thinks that he has no time for card games right now. Our hero puts on his glasses and says that the most important thing right now is making money. Our boy then finds two lost girls and offers them a hand. They're charmed by the handsome upperclassman and accept his help. Our boy asks which dorm they're in so he can help with their bags. He uses the opportunity to pitch the campus data plan. The girls are interested in the offer, and one of them asks for the upperclassman's contact info. The other one asks why she needs his contact when the number is on the flyer. Her friend replies that with an upperclassman this cute, it's good to have his number for the future. With that, our boy agrees to give them his contact, and they exchange numbers. As they're talking, two women approach them. The younger one asks if they are also heading to dorm A9. Our protagonist recognizes the girl as Shen Yu. He confirms he can take them there, and Shen Yu's mother thanks him. Then her mom remarks that the campus card seems useful and tells Zhou Yuan to add her contact. The woman insists on adding our boy's contact so he can look out for her daughter at school. Our protagonist offers to carry their bags up to room 503. Shen Yu gets curious and asks how the upperclassman knew her room number. Our hero plays it off, saying he overheard them talking, all while thinking he said too much out of habit from his past life. He then realizes he needs to find a way to make some quick cash. Meanwhile, somewhere else, the girls wonder who that kind upperclassman was. A moment later, a student walks up to our boy and asks why the number on the flyer is crossed out. Our protagonist explains it was a printing error, and the correct number is written next to it. The girl thanks him, says she'll contact him later, and walks away. Soon after, a guy runs up excitedly, saying all the flyers have been handed out. Our boy smiles, thinking it was worth it to post in the school's group chat. Earlier, he had sent a message in the group offering the campus data plan. Our protagonist then starts replying to messages from interested people. He explains to a classmate that the price is $130 to resell at $150, making a $20 commission per order. And you also earn from the sales of your referrals. Our hero praises his classmate Lu Shou's efficiency, while the guy compliments his connections. Just then, a girl approaches and asks if she can also earn a commission. Shuo is shocked to see Li Shiqing, the future pretty diplomat. The girl asks again if the commission is really 20 per person. Our boy confirms it and makes her a better offer. If she brings in 30 people today, he'll make her the general campus agent with a commission of 30 per person. Li Shiqing's eyes light up with dollar signs when she hears the proposal. Excited, Li Shiqing seals the deal, saying she'll send the list over later. He then thinks that this is a huge opportunity and that his university life is getting interesting. Is completely baffled to see our protagonist close a deal so quickly. In the girls' dorm, the protagonist's ex-wife calls him, but the number doesn't exist yet. Suddenly, her friend Zheng Yanyan calls her over for a card game at the coffee shop. Wife accepts the invitation right away. Zheng Yanyan is surprised and wonders if she's always this easygoing, as she seemed more aloof before. The protagonist's wife replies that she was just bored in her room and that she'll just touch up her makeup before they head out. Her friend notices how happy she is and asks if her boyfriend will be there. She gets all flustered and replies that he's not her boyfriend yet. She thinks to herself that he's her future husband. A little while later, the two are sitting and waiting at the coffee shop. At that moment, our boy's roommates arrive and ask for Zheng Yanyan. Excited, she turns around thinking it was the protagonist. But her face falls when she realizes it's not him. She gets frustrated and asks why it's them and where Zhou Yuan is. Chang Hao replies that our protagonist had something to do and couldn't make it. She's surprised and wonders how this is possible. Maybe it's the butterfly effect of her rebirth. Yanyan teases her, saying she got stood up but quickly corrects herself, saying maybe he's just busy. The ex-wife thinks about how she called an invalid number, but figures something might have changed in this life. One of the guys tries to smooth things over and invites her to play cards, but she doesn't seem very enthusiastic. Elsewhere, our protagonist arrives at a store. A friendly employee greets him and asks how she can help. Our hero asks for the store manager, as they had an appointment to discuss a deal. The woman then leads him to the manager's office. She's impressed by our boy's strong presence. Despite him being so young, he arrives at a door with an office sign on it. The manager asks if he's the young man who wants to be their agent and says he's got a lot of nerve. Our protagonist shows her a list with 247 interested new students and says this is just the beginning. The woman is impressed by the sales volume in just a few days. Our boy says that for the 150 plan, the best he can get is a $70 discount, but he wants 80. The manager agrees to the discount and compliments his boldness. Our protagonist then asks for the agency rights for the entire district with a 60% commission and a 30% advance. She gets closer to him and asks if he's trying to take the whole cake and what his base cost is. Our protagonist says his family is in this business, so she can't hide anything from him and guarantees he'll capture 40% of the market. The woman, impressed by the young man's ambition, closes the deal and says the merchandise will be delivered at the agreed upon time and place. He then asks if they can sign the contract now, and she readily agrees, calling him Boss Liu. The manager is left pondering, noticing that our hero's mind is far deeper than that of an 18-year-old, and his composure is rare. While signing the contract, our boy asks her one more thing. He then remembers that her store also offers Apple phones on contract. Back at the coffee shop, the protagonist's ex-wife is playing a round of cards. One of the protagonist's friends complains that she played a 9 by itself, handing the victory to their opponent. The other one tries to calm the situation and tells his friend to teach her how to play. The guy refuses, saying it's obvious she and our hero are a couple and that there's nothing for him to teach her. The ex-wife apologizes, saying she's not good at the game, and heads to the restroom. She then steps away from the group. She wonders why Jo Yoon didn't show up and why everything is so different from her past life. She then tries calling him again, hoping the call will go through this time. On the other side of town, our protagonist leaves the store with a new phone, thinking how lucky he got that the number is the same as in his past life. Suddenly, his phone rings, and he wonders who's calling since he hasn't given his number to anyone yet. Our hero answers and asks who it is, finding the number weirdly familiar. Annoyed by the silence, he warns that he's going to hang up if the person doesn't say something. On the other end of the line, Soo King's voice shouts that he needs to write novels because they're going to be a huge hit, but our boy hangs up right in her face. Soo King is stunned that he hung up. She wonders why he would hang up on her like that. Then the girl remembers that at this time, Jo Yoon is only 19 and doesn't even know her yet. Embarrassed, she thinks that a development plan seems like a good idea. Our protagonist freaks out, realizing his rebirth was a buy one, get one free deal. He decides there's no way he can let Soo Ching find out he was reborn too. The ex-wife and Jung Yin are walking with our hero's roommates when one of them gets the bright idea to go spy on the men's dorm. Hearing the word dorm, the ex-wife stops in her tracks, looking like she just had a light bulb moment. Soo King then announces that since they have a class meeting, she'll just walk them back to their dorm, leaving the guys completely baffled. Jung Yin gets suspicious, wondering if her friend only wants to go to the men's dorm to find Jo Yeon. Meanwhile, the other roommate is whining to Chang Hao, super jealous that our boy has a gorgeous girl thinking about him. Soo Ching asks Jung Yin if she thinks Chang Hao is into her, but she brushes it off, saying she prefers more mature guys. With that, they keep on walking toward the university dorms. Suddenly, the ex-wife spots someone in the distance and freezes on the spot. Huge smile spreads across her face as she excitedly calls out for Jo Yeon, completely surprising her friend Jung Yin. Our protagonist turns around and yup, the girl's suspicions were right. It was really him standing there. Our hero is completely floored, totally panicking as he realizes it's her, standing right there in front of him. Jung Yin's jaw drops when she finds out that this guy is the famous Jo Yeon her friend wouldn't shut up about. Soo King quickly closes the distance, but our boy plays dumb and asks who she is. She formally introduces herself, reminding him they were in the same class, and our hero can't help but think how beautiful she was in his past life. Watching the scene unfold, Jung Yin thinks the vibe between them is super weird. It doesn't feel like a couple's quarrel, but something else entirely. Our MC is totally confused by her vibe and asks if she's hitting on him, and she suggests they should get to know each other all over again. With a determined look, the ex-wife thinks to herself that this time, it's her turn to chase after him and win him over. Our hero cuts her off, though saying he already likes someone else, all while thinking, I'm not falling for that again. Soo King's smile vanishes in an instant, and she looks completely and utterly shocked. She asks in disbelief if he really likes someone, and our boy sarcastically shoots back, is it that weird for me to like someone? Our guy starts describing the girl he saw, but Soo King abruptly cuts him off and tells him to zip it. She's absolutely fuming, thinking to herself that he must have fallen for her at first sight. She vows that he'll be hers in this life, and the next. Just then, Jung Yin walks up to Jo Yeon with a smile and greets him, saying they've met again. Our protagonist, totally psyched, suggests they exchange contact info, leaving both girls stunned by his forwardness. Soo Ching is shocked when she sees his phone, thinking something is off because he seems way more capable than before. Our MC's ex-wife puts on a smile and agrees to add his contact, since they're classmates and all. Seeing how things are going, our hero thinks to himself that the trouble has finally started and he needs to find a way out. Jung Yin jumps in, suggesting it's better if they don't add each other right now and maybe wait for another time. Right on cue, a roommate comes over and tells our boy about a class meeting at 7 in the evening. Jo Yeon uses the meeting as the perfect excuse, grabs his friends, and bolts, thanking his lucky stars for being saved from that mess. In the classroom, the students are gathered for the class meeting his friend mentioned. Meanwhile, Chang Hao and his buddy are gossiping about the girls in the class. One of them points to a girl and asks for the other's opinion. The redhead's buddy scoffs at that choice and points to Jung Yin, but Chang Hao just roasts him, saying she's got toothpick legs. Our protagonist's roommate keeps teasing his friend, saying he clearly has no taste. Then, we see a pink-haired girl who's grabbing everyone's attention in the room. The redhead's friend tries to defend himself, but Chang Hao just says the girl is way too skinny and looks like she needs a good meal. Away from the gossip, our boy is all business, sending a text to his partner, praising her efficiency. At that moment, everyone's attention shifts to the front of the room as the professor finally arrives for the meeting. The advisor introduces himself as Yu Changjin and announces they need to elect a temporary class president. Hearing this, our protagonist gets lost in thought, trying to remember who was the class president in his past life. Then, the pink-haired girl from before, named Gu Yoyo, nominates herself for president, and all the guys in the class are instantly smitten by her beauty. A guy named Jiang Cho nominates himself and uses the chance to ask Gu Yoyo if she has a boyfriend. Our hero's friends think the guy is a total clown, so another student stands up to run against him. Out of nowhere, our protagonist cuts the election short and introduces himself as the general agent for the campus SIM cards. The other students are floored by his offer and the price of the plan, which is way cheaper than the school's. The professor is completely blindsided by our protagonist's move right in the middle of his class. On that note, he offers one of the flyers to the professor. Our hero then explains that the plan is great for research, and the professor agrees that it's a fantastic deal. With that, Zhou Yuan continues his pitch, saying the internet fee becomes dirt cheap for a dorm of 4. The advisor is seriously impressed, thinking that if our boy becomes president, he can just kick back and relax for 4 years. A student asks about the commission, and our protagonist offers a generous amount but asks for a vote in return. Seeing the generous offer, the other students get hyped and decide to vote for him for class president. And just like that, Zhou Yuan is elected temporary president with the pink-haired girl Gu Yoyo as his vice president. Gu Yoyo approaches our hero, saying she also wants to buy one of his cards. She then says with a smile that she came to support his business and asks if he's not going to welcome her. Our protagonist gets a little flustered and tries to change the subject, thinking she's trying to flirt with him. Just then, another girl comes up all excited, saying she got 5 more people and asks for her commission. Seeing the situation, the pink-haired girl simply places her ID on the table to sign up. She leans in close to him and whispers that the price for ignoring her will be much higher than the data plan. With a sly grin, Gyoyo remarks that he dared to ignore her, and now he's in for it. In the showers, a friend asks if Zhou Yuan isn't going to make a move on one of the cute girls who bought his cards. At this, our protagonist comments that he never knew his friend was such a player. Chang Hao then brags that a real man needs to be a ladies' man to have any worth. But his other friend teases him, reminding him that he was just talking about wanting a pure romance, and the redhead tries to justify himself. Suddenly, one of the guys notices a weird, really strong smell coming from one of the showers. They figure out where the smell is coming from and make fun of their roommate for having such a peculiar hobby. Our hero then breaks up the fun and explains that it's just the smell of Fatinia flowers. His friends are amazed by his knowledge and ask how he knows so much about that stuff. Coming out of the shower, Zhou Yuan reveals a muscular physique, leaving his red-haired friend in complete shock. The redhead then complains that his own body looks like a plucked chicken because he's so scrawny. Our protagonist gives him a few workout tips and says he's heading out, telling the others to hurry up. Desperate, the two still showering yell for our hero to wait for them. Once they're dressed, they chat about the military training uniforms they have to pick up tomorrow. As they're walking, the friends decide to buy cards from him, even though Zhou Yuan offered his for free. Our protagonist is surprised, realizing that now 3 out of his 4 roommates want to buy a card. One of the friends suggests a group buy and asks for a friends and family discount $9.90 for unlimited data. Chang Hao thinks the price is ridiculous, but his roommate defends the idea, saying Zhou Yuan can surely get them a discount. All of a sudden, Chen Wan, the upperclassman who was selling plans, shows up and greets our hero. The roommate's jaws hit the floor, wondering why she just called him an upperclassman. The girl complains that he didn't reply to her texts, but our protagonist apologizes, saying he was busy. With a smile, our boy tells her to go dry her hair so she doesn't get sick and to pick up her card tomorrow. The upperclassman is completely charmed by his kindness. She then thanks him for his concern, says goodbye, and walks away, happily waving at him. His friends immediately crowd around him, shocked, and demand to know what his deal is with that girl, but Zhou Yuan just plays it cool. Our protagonist tries to change the subject and rushes the guys to get back to the dorm. On the way, he runs into a few more girls who also greet him. The roommates are, once again, completely dumbfounded by their friend's sudden popularity. They start whispering that Zhou Yuan might be some kind of big shot in disguise and decide to interrogate him back in the room. Our hero notices the suspicious looks from his friends. Back at the dorm, the 3 roommates corner him and demand that he spill the beans. Under pressure, Jo Yuan makes up a story about having a twin brother who's an upperclassman at the university to throw them off. His friends are totally stunned by the revelation and are skeptical, wondering if he's pulling their leg. They start to believe it though, commenting that with a brother like that, he'll have no trouble finding a girlfriend. Just then, our hero's phone rings and the caller ID shows a call from Li Shiki. Our protagonist answers the call, deep in thought, trying to remember who that is. On the other end of the line, the girl informs him that she's already hit her sales quota of 30 people, leaving him completely surprised. His roommates are gaping, and our hero promises the girl a $200 reward for her great work. He asks how she managed it so quickly, and the girl wants to know if she'll get a company bonus for a new idea she has. So, our guy offers to treat her to a meal as a personal thank you for her help. But the girl surprises everyone and bluntly asks if the dinner can be converted into cold, hard cash. His friends absolutely lose it, cracking up at the sight of the first girl ever to shut down our hero, who just calls her a money grubber. He offers another $200 for the new idea, and she explains she's going to post a cute picture on the university forum. Our protagonist realizes that selling for cheaper could cause problems with other agents and knows he needs to warn her. He agrees to the plan and promises to give her the $200 reward the next day, which gets the girl all excited. With the deal sealed, our protagonist finally hangs up and ends the conversation. His friends immediately pressure Jo Yuan to confess who the girl on the phone was, teasing him about his business cooperation. Our protagonist boasts that he's better looking and better at business, which is why people seek him out for partnerships. He tells everyone to get to bed because it's late, and one roommate asks to be woken up early to help with sales. Later in bed, our hero has a nightmare and remembers his ex-wife telling him he should love her forever. The memory continues with her threatening him in a chilling way, in case he ever dared to mess up. With a crazed look in her eyes, Su-ching says that if he ever betrayed her, she'd haunt him to the ends of the earth in the next life. That our protagonist wakes up with a jolt, scared and out of breath. He then realizes that the next life is actually real and is confused because he never mistreated his ex-wife. Our boy thinks that his business success and his change in attitude might be making her suspicious. Our hero decides he needs to find a way to test her to confirm if she also reincarnated. The next day, our hero and his roommate are in the classroom organizing the military training uniforms. Just then, Gu Yoyo shows up and greets him, surprised to see him there so early in the morning. Jo Yuan tells her that her timing is perfect, leaving the pink-haired girl a little confused. He then explains that he's short on time and asks her to help distribute the uniforms to the other students in the class. The girl agrees to the favor but says he owes her a meal as payment, and our boy promises he'll pick up the tab. At that, another female student storms over, furiously questioning Gu Yoyo for asking the guy out. Yao smugly replies that he's single, so it's open season for everyone. Her rival then agrees to compete fair and square, because she's not giving up on such an amazing and dedicated guy. From a distance, Su-ching watches the scene and finds it all very strange, because none of this happened in her past life. Just then Jung Yun appears, calling her name and startling her. Her friend then teases Su-ching, asking if she was just frozen in place watching her future boyfriend in the classroom. Jung Yun is curious about what's so special about our protagonist that he could attract someone like the class president. But our hero's ex-wife ignores the teasing and says they need to focus on handing out the uniforms. Right on cue, a very cheerful Cheng Hao shows up and offers to help Jung Yin, calling her Yanian. She seizes the opportunity and asks about the relationship between Jo Yuan and Su-ching, but the redhead says he has no idea. Jung Yin gets indignant and defends Su-ching, talking about how incredible she is and how she was even elected class president on top of it all. But Cheng Hao sticks up for his friend, saying Jo Yuan is just as amazing since he's president and the general agent for the campus SIM cards. The girl is then shocked by the low price of the plan, and the redhead teases her, saying she never bothered to ask before. She then remembers an upperclassman bragging about the profit from the cards and realizes our boy must be making way more. She asks how many people are buying from him, and Cheng Hao says a ton, and that Su-ching should just give up already. Curious about the whole thing, the girl asks for our hero's contact info, but the redhead says she can just buy from him. Jung Yin then shoots him down, asking why she would buy from a middleman when she could get a better price, straight from the source. Meanwhile, Chen Wan approaches our protagonist and asks how sales are going, since 20 people have already contacted her. Our hero gets nervous, thinking she hasn't noticed the mistake on the flyer, and asks how much she earns per person. The upperclassman proudly replies that she makes 30 per person, which would be 600 in a single day's work. Our boy then makes a counteroffer, offering her 50 per person if she passes the contacts over to him. Suddenly, a woman in a uniform arrives with her team and complains about the school's location, but our hero calms her down. He asks if her staff has arrived, and the woman explains they're still 10 minutes out from the agreed time. Our protagonist hands her an ID and asks her to process that one first, explaining he's doing a favor for someone. The employee compliments the beauty of the girl in the photo and asks with a smile if she happens to be his girlfriend. Our protagonist jokes with the employee, saying he's just waiting for her to break up with her current boyfriend, and the woman tells him to knock it off. Seeing Chen Wan's confusion, our hero realizes his mistake and decides to reintroduce himself to clear things up. With a confident pose, Zhou Yuan introduces himself as the general agent for the Shanlin University town. He then offers the upperclassman a job working with him, promising a much higher commission. Just then, a guy shows up with a bunch of friends, and our boy asks why he brought so many people with him. The classmate introduces his friends and tells them all to greet Brother Joe, which makes our hero a bit embarrassed. Next, his business partner approaches and says she's secured 22 customers, and our boy praises her for the achievement. The guy starts organizing the line to speed up the service for everyone. The girl also offers to help explain the plans, and our hero is pleased with the teamwork. Suddenly, an older gentleman approaches and curiously asks our protagonist what the long line is all about. Our hero explains he's selling phone cards and offers him a flyer detailing the plan's benefits. He even suggests that one card per dorm is enough, and the man seems interested but hesitant about the crowd. Zhou Yuan then reassures the parents that they can come back later and explains that there are 3 different plans available. His friend is blown away by our boy's smooth talking, commenting that he sounds like a seasoned salesman. Our protagonist jokes that life forced him to be this way, since he doesn't have a rich family like his friend does. Chen Wan is seriously impressed with our hero and calculates that with the new commission, she could make 1,500. Just then, our protagonist's partner tries to sell a plan to an older lady but ends up getting rejected. Our boy consoles her, saying that's totally normal, and the girl admits she still has a lot to learn. Zhou Yuan then asks the upperclassman if she's made up her mind, and she confirms she's going to call all her contacts. As time goes on, the midday sun starts beating down harder and harder. Seeing everyone's exhaustion, our hero announces a break and says he bought snacks and water for the team. Our protagonist feels like he's on top of the world, celebrating the fortune that's finally rolling in. At that moment, Cheng Hao arrives with Zheng Yin and Su Qing and comments that his friend must be making some serious bank. Our boy plays it down and asks why they all came together, secretly wondering why his ex-wife showed up too. But Zheng Yin cuts him off and asks why he still hasn't accepted her friend request on WeChat, making his ex-wife jealous. Zhou Yuan plays dumb and asks which one of them added him, claiming he was too busy to notice. Seeing this, the ex-wife thinks something is wrong, because the script is different from her past life. Just then, Zheng Yin snatches his phone and asks if it's an iPhone 5S and how much it cost. Our hero tries to get his phone back, but the girl jokes around, asking if the company is handing out iPhones now. With that, the ex-wife confronts him, asking how he became an agent, because this is different from the past. Our boy then questions her back, asking why he can't be the agent, and why she's watching him so closely. She gets annoyed but blushes at his response, asking if he's even from this world. Zheng Yin bursts out laughing, and our protagonist says that his ex-wife's behavior is getting really strange. Zhou Yuan then realizes that she's definitely getting suspicious of the whole situation. Another girl approaches and greets our hero, calling him Senior Joe. He apologizes for deceiving the girl and her mother, but Zheng Yin says he wasn't being honest. Our protagonist bows, asking for forgiveness, and says it was a necessary evil for business. Zheng Yuan then demands he treat the girl to a meal to apologize, and our hero agrees to pay up after he's done with work. Suddenly, the guy from the line earlier shows up and greets our protagonist. Zhou Yuan introduces him as his best friend, Liu Shuo, and the guy is thrilled with the compliment. Cheng Hao asks Liu Shuo who our boy is, and the friend replies that he's a classmate from the neighboring university. Liu Shuo introduces our hero's business partner. Watching from afar, Su Qing is in shock, thinking that this girl didn't exist in her past life. All of a sudden, a motorcycle appears, speeding right toward them. Then they come to a screeching halt, causing a huge commotion. With that, a trio of girls appears, and their leader asks if they're the ones selling cards around here. Our protagonist's whole group just watches the situation in silence. Li Shiki then offers her cards for 145, and says she'll do 140 if they buy in bulk. Our hero gets tense, thinking they're here to cause trouble, and wonders if his partner can handle it. His friends start whispering, wondering if the girls are there to pick a fight. The reedhead gets ticked off, throws Li Shiki's flyers on the ground, and accuses her of stealing her brother's business. Our boy's partner tries to slip away, saying she's busy, all while thinking she didn't see this competition coming. But the bully doesn't let her go and grabs her arm tightly. Shiki tells the girl to let her go, saying this is just how the market works. Survival of the fittest. The redhead does not like that answer at all and violently shoves our protagonist's partner. Our protagonist catches his partner before she can fall and asks if she's okay. Jo-yeon then steps up, says he's the one in charge, and confronts the redhead. Jung-yeon thinks our boy looks super hot, but Soo-king just says he's only playing the hero. Just then, more motorcycles pull up to the scene, revving their engines to intimidate the group. The redhead's brother finally appears and looks down on them, saying they're just a bunch of newbies. The girl gets all excited and calls her brother over to handle the problem. The guy asks if he's the one named Joe, and our hero confirms it. He claims to be the official agent for the area and complains that our boy is invading his turf with low prices. Our protagonist demands to see a contract and calls him out, saying his sister was the one who started things. His friends agree with our hero, and Lee Shiki feels protected by his actions. The rival suggests they settle things the old-fashioned way, since talking isn't working, and our boy questions him. The gang leader seems impressed by our protagonist's nerve. But our hero thinks the guy is just bluffing and doesn't know the first thing about business. The rival then challenges him to a meeting at 8 o'clock at a barbecue stand. Jo-yeon calms his partner down, telling her there's no such thing as turf, and tells her to go help the customers. Jung-yeon compliments our boy's heroic attitude and warns Soo-ching that winning him over won't be easy. At this, Lee's wife notices that his protective nature is identical to his future selves and starts getting really suspicious. Chang-hao then advises Jung-yeon to stay out of our protagonist's messy love life. Soo-ching confronts him and asks if Lee Shiki is the girl he said he liked. Our hero then coldly replies that it's none of her business,